and thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time here, my name is Ariel. I'm an entrepreneur, career, and startup coach, and today we are talking about the art of shooting your shot. Specifically, what constitutes a good cold email if you want to get the attention of a recruiter, of an investor, or a brand. Before we get into it, let's talk about some basic rules of engagement. I know a lot of people avoid sending cold emails because it can be a little bit daunting. However, when done correctly, it can absolutely change your life. So, number one, never be the one to tell yourself no. Don't gatekeep yourself or your potential. When you tell yourself you can't do something, you immediately remove any possibilities or options available. When you tell yourself you can do something, opportunities will follow you. And your goal is to get as many opportunities as possible. Rule number two, it doesn't matter how talented you are if you lack visibility. Imagine being the best kept secret in your field or in your industry, but no one knows about it because you're too afraid to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there and do it as often as you can. Rule number three, always do your research before reaching out. Customize and personalize every email or pitch that you send. Look at LinkedIn profiles, look at social media, see if there's common interests or common connections. It needs to read like you spent some time thinking about why you wanted to contact that person and why they are the right person. Rule number four, most people want to be helpful. Make it easy for them to be helpful. So have a clear ask, be concise, suggest next steps. Don't do long, drawn out, confusing emails, okay? You want to give them everything that they need so they can tell you yes. Rule number five, rejection is just redirection. You're not always going to get a response. And sometimes the response is going to be no. But that shouldn't deter you from continuing your hunt to get to the yes. Because once you get one yes, again, it can absolutely change everything. All right, now that we talked about the rules, let's talk about what we're going to get into today. So first up, we are going to discuss what you should put in that email. The next thing we're going to talk about is the power of a good blurb. And then the last thing we're going to cover is what to put in a media kit. And this is for my aspiring influencers or content creators. If you're trying to attract brands, I want to make sure that you get what you need. All right, first up, let's talk about the structure of a good email. You need to have a solid subject line. That's the first thing that your prospect is going to see. So I suggest making it relevant, making it personal. You can say inspired by your work at Google, or helping your brand reach millennial and Gen Z consumers, like whatever it is. That is going to give them that hook to want to lean in and learn a little bit more. Remember, they probably have thousands of emails sitting in their inbox, so you need to do what you can to be seen. You need to have a good opening line. So state who you are, why you're reaching out, and get to the point as quickly as possible. I cannot tell you enough how much being concise and having really short and punchy emails are going to benefit you. The next thing that you want to do is mention why you're reaching out to them. Show them that you've done your homework. You can talk about a recent post. You can talk about what the company is up to. Maybe they had a round of layoffs and you thought that they did something cool to support employees that are no longer there. I know that that's random, but that's an example of you paying attention. And if you mention that in the email, that's going to get you some brownie points. You need to include your blurb. I'm going to talk about the structure of a blurb in a second. But this is your moment to talk about who you are, what you've done, and also what you're looking for. And then the last thing is the ask. So what do you want? Probably a phone call or a Zoom meeting. So I would say, I would love to connect for 15 minutes to learn more about your work and ask you a few questions about breaking into X, Y, and Z. Bonus points if you include specific times or you include a link to your Calendly. This is going to prevent one of those 50 thread emails, right? Like, give them what they need up front so you don't have to do the back and forth. And then the other thing that you want to include is just any attachments or links. So link to your resume, your portfolio, your deck if you're a founder, your LinkedIn. Don't make them dig for this information. All right. Now, as far as coming up with a good blurb is essentially an elevator pitch in text format. Is going to do the heavy lifting in emails and DMs and bios, intros. When you're asking someone for a referral and they say, yeah, I'll make an introduction. Do you have a blurb? This is what you need to have on deck. Okay. So the formula is who you are, what you've done, what you want to do next, what you're doing now, and then also what makes you different. So for job seekers, give me your current title or position or your most recent one. Give me your expertise and your experience. What do you have a background in? Talk about the types of companies that you want to work for. You could say you like working with mission-driven startups. That gives me a sense that you enjoy social impact, right? Like that's a way of showcasing your personality or your passions or your personal interests without doing too much. Don't be afraid to talk about intersections of alignment as well. So personally, any blurb that I write is always going to have tech, it's going to have careers, and it's going to have VC. And there's intersection points with all of them, but those are the things that I do, and that's what I care about, and those are the types of opportunities that I want, okay? Now for founders, I need to know what you're building. If you have a link to a demo, even better. I want to have a sense of traction. I would love to know who's on the team or who's advising you. I think the most important thing is if you're fundraising, how much money are you raising? Is it $1 million? Is it $2 million? And where is that money going? You need to have a plan for how you are going to deploy the funds. Are you hiring people? Is it for infrastructure? Be very, very clear in your ask, okay? And then last but not least, for my folks that are trying to attract brands, if you are creating a media kit, this is probably going to be one of the first things that they ask you to share with them. And it needs to include your bio. And obviously you could use the blurb that you just created. You can also have something more long form. It's completely up to you. Headshot, images, lifestyle photos. This is your chance to have some fun and be creative. You also want to include any highlights, any wins, any testimonials, achievements, press features. Brag on yourself because you are asking them to take a chance on you. What types of services do you have to offer? What are you looking for? Is it speaking engagements, general partnerships, freelance opportunities, consulting? Definitely include any demographic information around your audience. If you have analytics about how great your TikTok is doing or how good your YouTube is, all of that is only going to make them want you more. And then last but not least, you got to give them some contact information. So how can they reach you? Links to your socials. If you have like a link tree, I use beacons. Also include your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your portfolio. Now, pro tip, you can absolutely use Canva to design this media kit. I know I have, so I would start there. I know we talked about a lot, but just to do a very quick recap, write emails that are short, smart, and specific. Make sure your blurb is a reflection of how you want people to see you. And then put together a brand or a media kit that gives you an opportunity to speak when you aren't in the room and conveys the message that you want to get across. If you are currently in the middle of a job search, or if you are an aspiring content creator or influencer and you're trying to attract brands, let me know in the comments. I'm curious what you guys are up to, and I want to help as much as I can, okay? So I look forward to seeing you guys next time. You've got this. Talk to you soon.